behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Bash TV. Palm Bash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Bash TV time again. Thanks for joining us. We got another interview coming up in just a moment. But if you haven't yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell, and we'll always notify you of any new episodes coming your way. And leave a comment on the comment section if you like. And if you pay attention to the description part, we're going to have contact info for you. It'll be repeated at the closing credits at the end of the show. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Wellington, New Zealand today, we have Simon Claridge from the band Cut Monks. An awesome band and an awesome song as well, and we're going to get to that in just a moment. But before we do, let's go back to another amazing commercial with the Caden Gordon Show. So don't go away, we'll be right back right after this.
It is Caden from the Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix. Check out my show at thecadengordonshow.com.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Wellington, New Zealand today, we have Simon Claridge from the band Cut Monks. Thanks for joining us, Simon.
Kia ora. How you doing?
Oh,
yes.
Glad you can make it today.
Yeah.
So I guess you've always wanted to be an artist since you were a little kid, and that's why you did it. Maybe you fell into it much later. Everyone has their own story there. Go ahead and tell us about your story.
No. I actually started very, very young, so I've always done this. It's as a kid, you're about 8 or 9, you learn an instrument in our family, and my dad played the piano that's back there. I don't know if you can see it. And I wanted to be a trumpet player, but they said I had to learn the piano for a year. I think trumpets were expensive, and we had a piano. So I did that, and, did the whole orchestras, brass band things. And then, the 80s kind of hit. I was at high school, and all the weird kids were sort of hanging out together on a corner and forming bands, and that was the whole punk new wave thing. So I became, that's how I sort of started out, as a singer trumpet player. Neither of which I did in tune, by the way. But it didn't really seem to matter. And around that time in New Zealand in the mid-80s was tail end of the start of that whole indie movement here. A lot of really, really good simple guitar bands coming out of the South Island. New label launched actually on a Christchurch band called Flying Nun. Mm-hmm. And so everyone I knew was playing in bands, and that's what we sort of did. And at various stages I've played in all sorts of genres, but I've always sort of had music rattling in my head. And the early years are really that story of trying to find an instrument that can transpose what's up there enough that you can sort of lose that irritation of what's going on in there, And I think, if you've grown up with an instrument, you tend to get that. I don't think it's abnormal. My kids aren't really full on into music, but I've seen them all do it, riffing away on instruments and, making their own stuff happen, which I think is pretty cool. I had a big gap for about 15 years, and so I came back to it about 5 years ago, which is quite nice. And that was just off the back of a friend sent me a CD of a band, and that was actually the start of this one, Cut Monks. And it was a whole bunch of very simple 2-piece guitar drums songs. And I said, well, who's this? And he said, it's you. I said, who's that guitarist? God, I wish I could play that well now. But yeah, and it was me, and I didn't even recognize them. I do now, but so I went through that whole disconnect from the thing and put it all. And so for me, music's now, it's a sort of a reconnection. And I think it's good. It's been on for my older children who grew up with none in the house. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's a non-stop thing. So they have to live with that. This is the lounge. I put the guitar amps away the week the kids are here as much as I can, but there are too many, and they have to listen to these. The poor things listen to these songs on and on and on. But yeah, I mean, I was a commercial composer a while, and did all sorts of things to scrape by in New Zealand. But yeah, lifelong.
Oh, okay. Well, that's quite a story there, Simon. I'm glad that you're doing good on what you do, and as far as your band and music wise, I hope you'll be around for a long time there.
Well, thanks for that, Paul. I mean, people do say stick with this one. I mean, you tend to have lots and lots of bands and lots of projects in New Zealand. I mean, it's like doing well in this country is a whole different sort of thing. It's set at a different level because it is so small. And a lot of people don't sort of get from overseas that it's not even a whole country for touring. You've got only, 3 or 4 significant sized city in each of the 2 islands. And you have to get on a ship and go for 3.5 hours or something to get from one to the other. So, you quite quickly run out of places to play in your own island, and it's really expensive to get to another one. So, the online thing has just been wonderful for all the, musicians that I see playing now. It just gives them that kind of outlet. They can get their stuff heard, and it's really good. But our view of success is a little different. We just want to keep playing, be happy, play well, keep the machines going, nothing seizing up, and do reasonable shows to people who appreciate it. It's a small world. We don't mind that.
Yeah, right, exactly. I know what you mean. What were some of the bands that you grew up with that you kind of liked that helped influence you?
Oh, well, this is a weird one. I mean, because, the first records I really fell in love with, because I was a trumpet player, was Herb Alpert's Tijuana Brass. So you wouldn't pick that from what we play. But yeah, I mean, they were really the bands that were around at the time. There was a kind of, I guess, they became what's called internationally a noise rock band, Belter Space, later on. But the precursor of that band, guy John Halverson, had a band called the Gordons. And they weren't really punk, but very gritty, nice dissonant tension and just really different songs. And we sort of grew up listening to the bands around us, and the influences were the people playing in those bands. So Kiwi bands.
Mm-hmm.
Was sort of more popular stuff in New Zealand outside the music scene was all that 50s and 60s stuff. So, but if I think about, because I've got other projects, but if I think about this one, it's the stuff that I love about, I don't know, Johnny Cash type, that kind of real simple Buddy Holly, Link Ray, yeah. So that was the stuff that was on the radio. We didn't buy those records because it was uncool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess, this is harking back. This Cut Monks is more about, in a way, the records I didn't show to people. I mean, the first record I ever bought was a Elvis double album,
Yeah.
But, we were all into the alternative stuff, and you weren't supposed to like that. You weren't supposed to like Patsy Cline and all that stuff. But I do, And another one for the guitar sound, a band called The Shadows.
Mm-hmm.
So British band. I just love that guitar sound and the guy's feel and the simplicity and the way you can hear every nuance of what he's doing. Yeah.
Those are definitely some great ones. You mentioned Johnny Cash and Buddy Holly, and everything. Those are good, legendary bands right there.
Yeah.
And singers. Well, somebody might want to go check you out on social media, streaming media, also official website, so forth. Tell everybody how they can do that.
Yeah, if you have a look for Cut Monks NZ on Instagram, we're on Facebook, Cut Monks as well. There's a YouTube channel, Cut Monks. I mean, we're brand new. We haven't done our first live show. So Indie Fest, we're doing our debut there. So that's quite nice because, we get together on Sunday afternoons. And those recordings that are up there are from our Sunday afternoon thing. We chuck some mics up on the drum kit. have a quick bash before the practice. I go, that'll do. Take it home, record some stuff here. It's really about that whole simple, keeping it to something that's meaningful for us without letting too much production get in the way and too much time get in the way. And so if you like that kind of simple, straightforward thing where you might feel a bit of a connection to that, you might like Cut Monks. Go check it out.
Okay, so you can pretty much find you anywhere then, all streaming platforms, all social media, your official website.
Oh no, I haven't done a website, just because I'll have to maintain it, and I just think websites are kind of like it's always hard to get people to go to websites, but we might do. We're up on Bandcamp, but in terms of the streaming stuff, and you can download the stuff there. In terms of the streaming stuff, Spotify and things, a lot of people have different views about that sort of thing, but we're not going to sort of bust our nut as content creators trying to get people to listen to us on Spotify. If they find us, it's well and good. We're focused on playing, doing shows, and being part of our community, playing music and just getting better at what we do. We're still learning, and that's our bag, really. So the content creation, the videos, those are my kids. That's my orange tree in the video. I try to get them shot in 1 or 2 shots. That's it. It's a love thing, and we don't want to pretend it's an industry. For me, I've got enough going on just staying connected to the songs, and that's what we want to do. Yeah.
All right. Well, any social media and all streaming media sites that are out there, I'm sure you can find Cut Monks on a lot of those, and just check them out. And I know that Simon here would really love that.
Yeah.
And I guess the name of the song we're going to be playing is called "How Was Your Day?" Sounds self-explanatory, or maybe there's a deeper meaning behind it. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about that.
Well, someone said to me, you don't need to be direct about your lyrics, but I tend to. It's about people dealing with people who have passed or people who are not in their life anymore, and just the simple bit of loss where you go, you just want to say, how was your day? And I know someone who's raising kids and they've lost someone, and it's about how they might feel and how their daughters might feel. So and that it's just one shot in the video. That's a holiday where I was thinking about that, and I remember doing the video thinking I'll save that, and then that song came along. So that's most of the songs are very straightforward. They're just about me and my kids and my life and people that have been in my life. So yeah.
Okay, well, it is a great song. I love the video too, and I'm sure
thank you
as well. And we're going to get to that in a second. But Simon, thank you so much for being on the show. We'd love to have you back again sometime if you ever want to plug something new.
Yeah, sure. That'd be awesome. Okay. Hey, thanks for your patience, Paul. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
And here it is, Cut Monks. How was your day? It begins right now.